It worked well for you.
Yeah, it did. And of course, these are all my books that I've written over the years.
Born into hardship in Oklahoma, Chuck Norris turned pain into power, discipline into legend. From Air Force trainee to martial arts champion to Hollywood icon, he didn't just fight, he became unstoppable. This is the untold story of the man behind the myth. Chuck Norris entered the world on March 10, 1940, in Ryan, Oklahoma, into a family shadowed by hardship. His father, Ray, battled alcoholism and unfulfilled dreams, while his mother, Wilma, quietly fought to keep the family afloat. Poverty was a constant companion, and the tension of a broken home shaped Chuck's earliest lessons in resilience. As a boy, Chuck learned to navigate fear and scarcity. His father's rages and his mother's endurance left deep marks, teaching him both caution and courage. By the time he reached adolescence, he had learned to stand firm in the face of adversity, setting the stage for a life defined by discipline, determination, and the refusal to break under pressure. Even in these early years, glimpses of his future greatness appeared, not in accolades, but in the unyielding will that would become his signature. Chuck's restless spirit eventually drove him to seek structure and purpose outside the chaos of home life. At 17, he enlisted in the United States Air Force, a bold move that offered discipline, camaraderie, and a stage for untapped potential. It was in the Air Force that Chuck discovered martial arts, a world that would change him forever. Initially drawn by curiosity, he quickly became obsessed, pouring every ounce of energy into training. Each punch, kick, and kata became a meditation, a release, and a way to channel the storms of his childhood. Martial arts was no longer just a hobby. It became a lifeline, a tool to sharpen both body and mind, and a path to self-mastery. Fellow airmen noticed his unwavering focus, unmatched physicality, and quiet intensity. By the time he left the Air Force, Chuck was no longer a boy escaping his past. He was a warrior in the making. After leaving the military, Chuck immersed himself in the competitive world of martial arts. Tournaments became proving grounds, not just of skill, but of identity. Every opponent reflected his discipline, resilience, and sheer will. Chuck's reputation grew quickly. Opponents underestimated him, only to be overwhelmed by his speed, precision, and unshakable focus. Each victory added trophies, yes, but more importantly, confidence and the forging of a warrior who thrived under pressure. By the late 1970s, martial arts schools sought him out to teach. Yet Chuck wanted more than recognition in small arenas. He wanted to push boundaries and take his craft to a stage where the world could see it. Hollywood soon noticed. Filmmakers were searching for someone who could blend raw physicality with screen presence, a man who could be a hero, a fighter, and a symbol of invincibility. The transition wasn't immediate, but it was inevitable. Chuck's martial arts mastery became the bridge to a different kind of spotlight, one that demanded not just skill, but personality. His first breakthrough came with a small but unforgettable role in a martial arts film that demanded authenticity. Directors and stunt coordinators marveled at his precision, while audiences recognized a new type of action star, someone who didn't just act like a fighter, but truly lived it. Soon, larger roles followed. Chuck's on-screen persona blended unyielding confidence with approachability. Box office numbers confirmed it. Audiences were drawn to his authenticity, energy, and charisma. Films like Missing in Action and Delta Force showcased not just fights, but stories of perseverance, courage, and loyalty. His characters were often ordinary men thrust into extraordinary circumstances, relying on skill, intelligence, and determination rather than sheer brute force. Hollywood demanded constant output, long hours, and repeated exposure to danger. Injuries and near misses were part of the reality behind the heroic facade. Yet Chuck faced these challenges the same way he had faced every opponent before, head-on, with focus and determination. By the mid-1980s, he had become an action hero in his own right, setting a new standard for the genre. By the 1990s, Chuck had transcended traditional action roles. Walker, Texas Ranger, brought him into millions of homes weekly, showcasing justice, strength, and moral clarity. Audiences resonated with his portrayal of Cordell Walker, not just fighting crime, but upholding principles in the face of corruption and moral dilemmas. Then came the phenomenon of Chuck Norris facts. Humorous exaggerations of his abilities propelled him into new levels of pop culture notoriety. A new generation knew Chuck not just as an actor, but as a mythic figure, a legend celebrated and playfully exaggerated online. Chuck's influence extended beyond Hollywood. In martial arts, his competitive achievements, teaching, and philosophies elevated the discipline in the United States. Schools and dojos worldwide adopted his principles of discipline, respect, and perseverance. Countless professional fighters cite him as inspiration. His techniques, training methods, and emphasis on mental strength transformed martial arts from a niche practice into a mainstream pursuit, encouraging countless young people to embrace fitness, focus, and self-control. Beyond physical mastery, Chuck emphasized the importance of honor, humility, and mentorship, ensuring that the next generation of martial artists carried forward a code of ethics as strong as their skills. In entertainment, he defined the action hero standard, influencing actors like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, and contemporary stars. He proved that an action hero could be disciplined, morally grounded, and supremely skilled, a model that continues to inspire. His performances demonstrated that authenticity, preparation, and dedication were as critical as raw strength, and his influence reshaped Hollywood's expectations of martial arts on screen. The combination of charisma, precise technique, and unwavering focus made Chuck a blueprint for anyone striving to leave a mark in action cinema. Away from cameras and stunts, Chuck's life has been guided by family, faith, and personal principles. A devoted husband and father, he navigated the challenges of fame with a focus on maintaining close, supportive relationships. He emphasized raising children with respect, responsibility, and courage, teaching by example rather than words alone. His Christian faith provided guidance and moral clarity, influencing his choices both on and off screen. Martial arts became not only a physical pursuit, but a path to character development, instilling patience, discipline, and resilience in every aspect of his life. Chuck's philanthropic work extended beyond personal achievement. Through motivational speaking, community involvement, and support for veterans, law enforcement, and youth programs, he used his platform to inspire others to pursue discipline, integrity, and perseverance. Even in moments of fame, he remained humble and grounded, emphasizing hard work over luck, persistence over talent, and respect over aggression. His legacy is not measured only by punches thrown or villains defeated, but by the example he set. A life of discipline, integrity, and resilience, inspiring generations to come. In every sense, Chuck Norris stands as a model of what is possible when dedication, morality, and courage intersect, proving that true influence lies not in fame alone, but in the positive impact one leaves on the world. From a boy in a broken home to a global icon of strength, discipline, and integrity, Chuck Norris proves that true greatness isn't given. It's earned. His fists told a story, but his life showed the legend behind the man. If you're inspired by his journey, hit like, subscribe, and join us for more incredible stories of courage, perseverance, and legendary lives.